Heyo everyone, let's get bricky. Heyo everyone, I'm MacGyver, and welcome to another Magic the Gathering custom deck build. What this is basically I had the idea with my friend Zach that we have a bunch of custom decks that we like to play, and I want to show you how I made some of mine. Today we have just to double check, yes, it's a green-black, essentially elf deck. And you'll understand why, but the reason why I wanted to do this deck is it's not the greatest of decks. I'll admit that. But the reason why is because this is, I believe, the first deck I ever made. There are definitely some things I think missing out of it from what was originally in it, but essentially this was the basis for, the majority of this was for my first deck I ever made. A lot of it was with the help of my friend Zach, but you can definitely tell that this is not super professionally made because of a lot of the choices you'll see. So I'm just going to get right into it. It's green-black. So starting ourselves off, let's see where I partitioned everything here to make it easier. So first we got the black creatures, and I'll automatically given how many things I've just slapped down on the table here. And given this photo right here, I have a lot of single creatures for this thing. And a lot of it make some sense, a lot of it doesn't. First one being Tormented Soul. 1 cost, 1/1, can't block, and is unblockable. It's a really nice creature to get out turn 1. Turn 1, 2, or 3 if you got it. Because you are picking away at your opponent's health. At first they're thinking about it, but late game, this guy can do some unknown damage if you buff him up properly. This one I definitely added from when I first made it, only because of watching my friend Zach play a black deck that had these guys, and it's like, ooh, these guys are nice. But everything else doesn't really fit. And this was definitely a deck that I remember I built because of their abilities versus how they all played together. And you can see that because I do have a flying creature, which it's always good to have in some decks, but it's Blood Hunter back. 4 cost, so can't really get it out super early. But as it enters the battlefield, target player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Not bad. Really good. Get a little bit of health there. 2/2, and it's a flyer. They don't have reach or a flyer. Boom. Just like Tormented Soul. You're giving them damage that they can't do nothing about. Either that or they have to use Negate or Unsummon, something like that, or Plummet. They ain't got none of those. You're in business. But then I got things like Dutiful Attendant. I got this guy. It's 3 cost. When it dies, return another target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That's why I put this guy in here, because of his ability. Putting not because of anything else. It's a 1/2 power strike. Doesn't really do much, but his ability ain't bad. It makes you sure to get one of your other creatures back out if it's died. I got this Zombie Wall. It's a 3 cost defender, so it can't attack. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on him. If I pay 2 swamps and 5, I can sacrifice it. Target player loses X life, where X is wall or limbs power. It starts off 0/3. It's not much, but early on I definitely liked making decks that had a for sure defender in there. Something that could easily block, take damage without me taking it directly. You got Gravedigger. 4 cost. When Gravedigger enters battlefield, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Not bad. Did it because of its ability, not because of anything else. Which is strange, because you sort of want to play them, and all of these creatures basically just there so I can get creatures back. Because the main focus of this is for elves. And these two guys don't play into that. But they were the only black elves I had, and I figured that would help round out my creature pool. One of them being Eyeblight Assassin. This is a 3-cost card. Enters battlefield toy creature and opponent controls gets -1/-1 until end of turn. It's not bad, but if they got a creature that only has 1 strength or defense, it instantly kills them. It's not bad if you play it right. Or if you got other attackers. Not one you want to put out when you don't have any other creatures on the battlefield. Erasing its ability, in my opinion. But it's not bad. It's 2/2. Other one being Deathbridge Shaman. 3 cost. When it dies, target opponent discards card. It's 3 and 1 cost, so it's very easy to kill, which means they don't want to attack it right away. It's not super helpful. And very, very random for all of my black creatures here. But it's because my green ones definitely pick up that slack. And so, going off of here, we got Ivyling Denizen. It's 4 cost, 2/3. Whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. It's not bad. Got quite a few green cards in here. He's good. Then we got Yiva's Force Mage. 3 cost, 2/2 card. Elf Shaman. When it enters the battlefield, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It's not bad. But as you can see, I literally only have one of all of these cards. This was really one of my first decks before I had a bunch of extra stuff or deck builders. I was literally using piecemeal for these guys. You've got 1 cost Spire Tracer, basically 1/1. Can't block except by creatures with flying or reach. It's not bad, because they don't have flying or reach, you're good. It's basically unblockable. Now, this is definitely one that brings in the whole elf situation, why they're all elves. And that is with Drynen Gilt-Leaf Dane. 4 cost, so not a whole lot to get out. Has reach. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1. Really good. When it attacks, you gain 1 life for each attacking elf you control. This is where the idea of just having a whole bunch of elves, and why these are all elves in here, are out on the battlefield. It's because this can be very nice for gaining life, especially end game. It doesn't matter if it survives. This and every other creature that's attacking, I'm going to get that life first, which can be very helpful. You got the Arbor Elf. These guys are always good. 1 cost, 1/1s. We can tap it to untap target forest, which is basically you're tapping it for mana, essentially. Just long-winded way around. You got the Elvish Archdruid. 3 cost, 2/2. This guy's pretty good. Other elf creatures you control get +1/+1, just like the 4 cost one. You can tap it and add a forest to your mana pool for each elf you control. So, I got really big guys, which I don't. I could tap this guy, and I could tap all my other elf creatures to help with my mana if I'm short to get it out. Don't really use that ability too often, but it's not bad to have. Always good to be better safe than sorry. Then you got 2 cost 1/1 Elven Visionary. When it dies, draw a card. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. But overall not great. But I do send my make up for that because I do also have 2 Shaman of the Packs. These are basically dual color card. When Shaman of the Pack enters this battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to the number of elves you control. This was the other reason why I wanted an all elf deck. This was a wonderful way to immediately sap my opponent of their health. Because if I have a bunch of elves out, that's a lot of damage going directly to the opponent. Not the creatures, the opponent. Really good. I like it. Then we got sorceries, which is such an awful hodgepodge. It's no wonder why this was one of my first decks, because I literally have only like one of almost all of these spells. I literally just chose them because of what they did. You got the 2-cost Reef Soul, store target creature with power 3 or less. Always good. It's 2 cost, uses early game, mid game, late game. Helpful. Grizzly Spectacle, 4 cost, destroy target non-artifact creature. The creature puts a number of cards equal to that creature's power from the top of his or her library into her graveyard. That's not bad. It's really good. 4 costs, so gotta wait a while. But it's really good. Because, at least in my experience with playing with Zach, we don't play with a lot of artifact creatures. So, not only does it kill it, he also loses a bunch of cards that he may need. And if you get this off early game, and they have the worst mana luck, this can be helpful for keeping them at bay. Really good. You got Blood Reckoning, another 4 cost, which is an enchantment, which I really like. When a creature attacks you or planeswalker you control, that creature's controller gains 1 life. Really, really helpful. You got Murder. Really just Murder. 3 costs, destroy target creature. Got a ton of these in black. I've got Enchantment Aura, Solte Rune Mark, 3 costs, +2/+2, gains Death Touch, which is, as long as you control a green or blue permanent, which is a land, it's 3 costs. As long as you got a green land, it got Death Touch, baby. It's a 2/2 onto it. That's nice. That's, whew. You put that on the Tormented Soul, or you put it on something that has flying and reach and they can't do anything about it, ha! You're golden. You got Duress, 1 cost. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That play discards that card. I don't like this card so much, but it's not bad, especially late game. If you take your chances and they don't have a lot in your hand, could you save yourself an extra attack or a creature come out in the battlefield? Not horrible. It's a 1 cost, so if you're doing it late game, it's not going to cost you too much. Got 5 cost, Essence Strain. Deals 3 damage, target creature or player, you gain 3 life. What's not to like about that, except that it's 5 cost. Yeah. Then you got Macabre Waltz. This one's really good. Return up to 2 target creatures from your graveyard to your hand, then discard a card. Gotta discard one, but hey, if you got your deck made well, it's not bad. If you have a bunch of land in there, losing 1 late game, it's not gonna kill you. Then you got Disentomb. Return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. 1 cost. Basically Macabre Waltz minus creature, and you don't have to discard. Ain't that bad. Really good. Always recommend these for black decks. Really, really good. But yeah, as you can tell, I got like a whole bunch of singles of a ton of land. Not ton of land, ton of spells. And even green isn't that much better. I only got 1 plummet in here for destroy target creature with flying. Probably should have more because I have a couple creatures, but not many. So having another one probably be smart. Revive, return target green card from your graveyard to your hand. It's not bad. That one's not bad. I like that one. You got 1 cost enchantment or force adaptation. Beginning of your upkeep, place 1/1 counter on target creature. That's not bad. That could definitely make a weak one strong fast, or a strong one impossible to beat. It's not bad. Then you got neutralize, 2 cost, destroy target artifact or enchantment. I always like to have one of these because once I really understood enchantments, it can really help because 1, it can debuff certain creatures, or 2, it can debuff his entire side of the board. Always nice to have. Not so much for the artifact. I do, however, have 2 Titanic Growth, which is +4/+4 until end of turn. It's not bad. It's always good to have. It's 2 costs. Very helpful. I don't have a whole lot of really high strength creatures. This is good to have. Then, of course, I added these back in later. You got your 1 cost fogs, ladies and gentlemen. Get these in your green decks. Prevent that combat damage. It's a 1 cost instant. There's no reason why you shouldn't have it. They're wonderful. I love fog. It saved me many a game as well as turns. Not that I've won many games, but you know, you lose some, you win some, you lose some. Then you got your basic 10 land of each color, red and green, and then you've got the other ones. I only have 2 jungle hollows, which is dual black green. Enters tapped, but when it enters, I do gain a life. It's not bad with this deck. And then I also have Bountiful Harvest. Oh, this is a sorcery. Oh, which gains 1 life for every land I control, which 5 cost. At that point, you're gaining 5 life from it. It's not bad. Playing that late game when you have 10, whoo, lifesaver. Plus, got 2 of them. Don't recommend necessarily playing both of them on the same turn, but if you do, hey, you basically, depending on where you're at, you basically just got all of your health back. And that is my black-green quote-unquote elf deck. It ain't nothing special. It's definitely not the best made. I mean, there's so much more I could do to make this better. I just haven't. I might revamp this at some point. I think I recently just made another elf deck or another green-black deck that I might look at and see if I can't put... No, it was a green-blue deck. But still, it's to definitely use some work. I only got singles of a lot of sorceries. I only got singles of a lot of creatures. This could definitely be put together better. And I'll definitely take any of you guys at home have, because it's a little bit of a mess. If you decide to play with this deck, let me know how well you do. I don't do terrible. I've not won a game with it, but I can still hold a bit of my own. So, let me know. Otherwise, that is it for this deck. If you've not checked out the other previous one for my Sliver deck, go check that one out. Hope to have some battles up with my friend Zach at some point in the future, as well as more of my decks. But otherwise, thank you guys all so very much for watching. I have been Lego MacGyver. To all of you master builders out there, stay bricky, keep building, and I'll see you all next time.